And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Liberty are going to the WNBA Finals. They have just knocked off the Las Vegas Aces. Beat them pretty good, too. It was a good game. Sabrina Ionesu was in her bag. Great, gritty win by New York. Everybody contributed, man. Brianna Stewart had 19. Jonquel Jones had 14. Jonquel Jones was 3 for 5 from deep. Fibish. The more I watch Fibish play, the more I like her. She put in 11 points, hit a 3. But Sabrina Ionesu, man, 50% from the field, 5 for 8 from deep, 5 for 8 from 3-point land, man. That's how you get it done. That's how you get it done, man. And Vegas couldn't match. Asia Wilson had 19 points, 10 rebounds, so she had a legit double-double. Kelsey Plum had 17 points, but they didn't get much help nowhere else. Hayes had 11 points. Gustafson only had 2. Jackie Young only had 4 points. Chelsea Gray only had 7. 7 points and 6 assists for Chelsea Gray. So New York just outmatched them, man. New York just outmatched them. And guess what? It ain't have nothing to do with autographs, celebrity status, nothing like that. They got on the court and they just played ball. I can't wait to hear what Becky Hammond's post-game presser is going to sound like. But when she made them comments about, being distracted and stuff like that, I don't buy that. That's a cop-out in my book. That's a big-ass cop-out in my book. Didn't nobody worry about all of that kind of stuff when they was whooping everybody else's butt earlier in the season. So don't nobody, come on, man. So New York was just the better team in this series. That's pretty much it. That's about as far as you have to go. So you just gotta take the good with the bad, and that's the way it goes. Period. That's pretty much all you can do. And guess what? New York got the better of you. No excuses. Pretty much that simple, man. Pretty much that simple. So New York has been balling. I believe I thought New York would take it to the hilt earlier in the season. I have to see, but I believe I picked New York and possibly Vegas. I think what it was, I think I picked New York, not understanding how the brackets are set up. So they got a East Coast playing a West Coast. They don't have all of the East Coast teams play each other. Because I'm thinking that Connecticut should be playing New York to see who wins the East. And then Las Vegas would be playing, whoever to see who wins the West. And then those two match up, but they don't do it like that. And I don't necessarily mind that. I kind of like that. But in any case, New York is going to be playing in the finals. And they took down the Giants, basically. So trying to three-peat is incredibly difficult. That is a very difficult thing to do in any sport. So guess what? It is what it is. So maybe they can get all this situation and the shoe deals done and all of that kind of stuff, man. It was so much stuff. And there's still so much stuff in the news right now. It's not even funny. So, but in any case, still pretty good game, man. But I liked what I saw. Asia Wilson had a nice little block up in there. But Sabrina Ionesu early, she was 4 for 4. She was not playing. That girl was not playing around. She was in it. Let me see. Where's my charts? Yeah. Shut up. Boy, yeah, y'all throw them ads everywhere, boy. Let's see. Sabrina Ionesu. Let's go Sabrina Ionesu and Asia Wilson. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, Asia Wilson only missed 5 shots. Sabrina Ionesu only missed 7. Asia hit 1 3. I mean, they both played well. They both played well. Then you had Brianna. Brianna was in her back. Brianna did miss a lot of shots, though. Brianna Stewart was 8 for 21. Good Lord. She was only 1 for 4 from 3. Not the best shooting night, but okay. You got it in when you could get it in. Jonquel Jones, not much better. 5 for 11 from the floor, but she was 3 for 5 from deep. So that came up big, man. That was huge. So good game, man. Damn good game. As an Aces fan, we had a good year, but it was uncharacteristic, not a dominant Aces season. You know, MVP, but she did not. Did a lot of. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. That's the truth to that. They had revenge on their minds, man. But guess what? They had a. I always look at it like this, man. RC, it's everybody gets an opportunity, and on today's date, on this day, New York had the better squad. But even when you go back and watch the game and see how things were playing out at different aspects of the game, it all comes down to, did you make your shots when you had them? That's what it all comes down to. And this is where you kind of see what was going on. Jonquel Jones and Asia Wilson. Not too many missed shots, but when you look at all the players, whoo, they was throwing up some shots, man. Yeah. And you look at New York. New York made more shots when it came down to it, man. When it came down to it. You strip all the way, you strip down the whatever you want to call it. Strip down the nonsense. Your players make more than my players. Right. Right. They couldn't make their shots when they had to make it. I said the same thing about Indiana when they lost. Kelsey Mitchell had shots at the end of the game that just did not fall. And she had made those shots in the past. Same thing with Las Vegas. Some of those shots that didn't fall, they make those shots in the past. And I don't care if you're Indiana with Caitlin Clark, Las Vegas with Asia Wilson, or name your team and name your player. If your other teammates are not hitting their shots, at some point in time, somebody else has got to put shots down. It can't be all Asia Wilson. Now, just like I said, Kelsey Plum had what, 19? I think I said. Kelsey Plum had 17. 5 for 16 from the floor, 3 for 9 from deep. She didn't have a really great night shooting from deep either, but she put in 17. And then nobody else really scored for you. Hayes had 11. Hayes was the only other person in double digits. As opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 4 people in double digits. And then you had Vandersloot had 8 points. So when your bench comes alive and puts the ball in the bucket, that's where it is. Listen, I've been seeing this, man, and yes, the ratings are gonna go down, but this is how I'm looking at it, because everybody knows the ratings were gonna go down when Caitlin Clark was out of it. It's the same thing. Look at the NFL. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm a former NFL player, so the NFL is my bag. I got the game, the Rams and Green Bay on right now. But you can look at statistics. You can pull up analytics and viewership ratings. The ratings go up when Dallas is in the playoffs. So that's not anything new. The ratings go up when certain teams or certain players are in the playoffs. Nothing you can do about that. I guarantee you, if Kansas City goes to the playoffs, the ratings are going to be up because everybody wants to see Patrick Mahomes. Everybody wants to see Kelsey. Everybody wants to see Taylor Swift. There is truth to that. So when Caitlin Clark is out of the playoffs, You got a big contingency of people that only watch because of Caitlin Clark, and they are gone. That is not just with the WNBA. It happens in the NBA. Back in the day, coming up when Jordan was in his heyday, if the Bulls didn't make the playoffs, you had a lot of people that just didn't watch. And nothing has changed. It just manifests in a different way. And the WNBA has never had this type of visibility before. So they don't know how to act. Remember when you was a little kid and you used to go somewhere, go to the mall, or you asked to sleep over somebody's house? And what did your mom always tell you? Don't act like you ain't never been nowhere. WNBA ain't never been nowhere. The WNBA has not had these ratings since it started, because I believe when you go back and look at the first like 2 years, their ratings were super high. Their ratings were really good when they first started the league, because number one, you had never seen it before. Number two, they were coming off they had some Olympic success. And number three, you didn't have as much competition. Internet didn't exist. The cable was minimal. So there was not a lot of competition out there. So the WNBA, there was not much to draw your attention. Now you got Amazon Prime and Netflix, and I don't want to watch the WNBA. I want to catch up on Game of Thrones, and you got all of this other kind of stuff on top of the NFL is in full tilt right now. So, see, man, I don't want to talk about Lamar James, man. Y'all just beat my Bengals, bro. If you know me, yes, I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle, but I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. And for the Bengals to lose that game the way they did sucks. So I love Lamar and I love King Henry, but that hurt my feelings, dog. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That hurt my feelings. So, but yeah, man, the WNBA didn't have competition back then. Now it does. Now you got all of this stuff going on. So, and I'm saying all of that to say, RC, yes, the ratings are going to go down. However, the ratings are still better than they have been over the last few years. So while you might not be getting over 1 million viewers, if they getting 700,000-800,000 people, and in the last few years they've only hitting 400,000 and 500,000, then overall it's better. And I'm guessing, I don't know the facts on that, but I do believe the ratings are better. Even though they dropped when Caitlin Clark got bounced, they still are better than what they've been in the past. So it's a win either way for the W. But everybody's trying to spin it like, oh, Caitlin Clark's not in it no more. Watch it tank. And it's like, no, it's not going to tank. It's still a ton of people that's going to watch the finals. I am going to watch the finals. One of my favorite players this year, before the WNBA started, one of my first videos was it was my goal, find players not named Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese to watch in the WNBA so I can get invested in the WNBA. I already had Kelsey Mitchell. You know the situation is with that. Sabrina Ionesu was the other one. Kelsey Plum was after that. Sabrina Ionesu, because I saw her at the NBA All-Star game shooting threes with Steph. And then I remember saying that Kelsey Plum, I watched Kelsey Plum, not because she used to be married to Darren Waller, but I did make that connection. But I was watching Kelsey Plum and didn't even know it was her. The first time I saw Kelsey Plum was everybody was showing that. People were putting it on TikTok when Kelsey Plum was at a Las Vegas game or somewhere, and she was throwing T-shirts in the stands. And she throws a T-shirt way up in the second level to her dad or something like that. And she had like a Patrick Mahomes type arm. I didn't know that was Kelsey Plum. I was like, I've been watching her this whole time and didn't even know it was her. But I'm saying that to say I got involved watching other people. Sabrina Ionesu, Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones, Jewel Lloyd. What's the other girl from Seattle? Skylar Diggins-Smith. Kalia Copper. I like Kalia Copper because she's from Philly. I'm in the Philly area. I played for the Eagles. Make the connection. You know what I'm saying? So there's still a lot of people that are going to watch the WNBA in the finals, even after Caitlin Clark is out. And everybody wants to make you believe that it's Caitlin Clark is all or nothing. And it's not like that. And I'm saying that as a Caitlin Clark fan. So, I want to see that. I put a post out the other day, RC. I said Asia Wilson, WNBA MVP. Fee Collier, hold my beer. Fee Collier has been balling. Although I will say this, after I did the story on Cheryl Reeve running up on the Connecticut Sun players after the game, I was like, I hope Connecticut kind of whooped their ass for that, because that's some bullshit. You don't run up in somebody else's locker room or run up on other players because you don't like how they celebrating after they won. When you win in the playoffs, talk your talk. You might not like it, but you talk your talk because you earned it. That's what it's about. Playoff basketball, you play to win the game. Don't get sensitive now. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that now. Don't do that now. So, it is what it is. Where'd that other one go? There we go. So Minnesota out to a quick lead. So talk your talk, man. When you win. So and guess what? Las Vegas is gonna catch a hell of a lot of heat. They're gonna catch a hell of a lot of heat. Hey, RC, I tell you what, man. I know she ain't get a lot of clock this year, but I am a fan of Alyssa Peely. That girl from Utah, the Native American girl from Utah. I am a fan of that girl because that one game she finally got some clock and she dropped 20 points on them. And then Cheryl Reeve stopped using her. But I can't wait to see her play more. And I tell you what, man, if not for nothing else, Caden Clark, Angel Reese, Rakea Jackson, Cameron Bring, they have showed that if you give the rookies opportunity to play, they are going to play. And I tell you what, whoever drafts Paige Beckers next year, you cannot leave her on the bench and use her sparingly. You can't do that no more because these young women coming out of college got a little bit more gravitas than the girls already in the W. Oh, RC, you killing me with that, bro. You a Cowboys fan? You hurt my feelings, dog. I ain't mad at you, though. Well, kind of I am, but, I got all love, man. As long as you keep it respectful, we keep it moving, man. I'm an Eagle, so I'm a former Eagle, bro. So, I don't like the Cowboys. So, yeah, man, it's Alyssa Peely, man. She, see, that's what I gotta educate myself on, RC. Because people are, they putting stuff out there like these rookies can just up and move, up and walk away from their contracts. And I'm like, you just signed her as the draft pick. How you gonna move after the first year? So I know this got some stuff with the WNBA draft. I got to school myself into that, man. I got to school myself into that. Yeah, these top picks, they ain't playing no more. In another 2 years, when Juju Watkins comes out, somebody gonna put her on the bench? So Paige Beckers, I give props to Paige Beckers because she understood the assignment. She had all the games. She got the social media going, and everybody's looking forward to her next year. The only thing she got to do is stay healthy. And that's the one thing she's had trouble with the last few years. She got to stay healthy. Because that's the matchup, not Angel Reese. That's the matchup people want to see. Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. They play the same position. So they can technically guard each other. Angel Reese and the rivalry with Angel and Caitlin was more of a team issue because they don't play the same position and everybody was still feeding off the LSU and Iowa thing. So it was, that was the wrong. I understand why they were doing it, but it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. But, and heck, the WNBA even screwed that up. Because now every other interview is about disrespectful and racist fans, trolling, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, WNBA, y'all got to do better than this. Y'all definitely got to do better than this. It's all good, man. It's all good. See, man, like LeBron. You know I'm gonna like LeBron because I'm an Ohio boy. So like LeBron. Um, but you know, LeBron is not the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT. If you would have saw Jordan play in person, you would understand what I'm saying. But I will say this: LeBron James is probably uh, the most impressive physical specimen of a basketball player the world has ever seen. Period. LeBron, what's a good comp? A good comp for LeBron James would be Bo Jackson if Bo Jackson would have stayed healthy. Nobody in the NFL, now mind you, I'm a running back. My favorite running back was Gale Sayers. That's why I wore number 40 in college. Now, mind you, I grew up in the 70s, so Gale Sayers was done playing before I even was born. But I saw NFL films on him and it was immediately fell in love with him. Jim Brown was probably the best running back on the field. Love Barry Sanders, love Walter Payton. Walter Payton is a close second for me. Then you got LT LaDainian, Emmitt Smith. I don't know if I would put Emmitt Smith in my top 5. Because I don't think as good as Emmitt Smith was, Emmitt Smith would not be who he was without Larry Allen. So I got different things, but my point is the comp would be Bo Jackson. Because LeBron James is like Bo Jackson if Bo Jackson had not gotten hurt. Nobody had ever seen anybody 230 pounds run a 4.2. Bo Jackson would have left King Henry in the dust. King Henry runs a what? Mid 4.4. My best 40 time coming out of college, getting ready for the combines, was a 4.48. And I ran that at 205 pounds. Because back in 1993, that was kind of heavy for a running back. So for Bo Jackson to be 230 and run a 4.2, you know, I think Herschel had that speed, but Herschel was not good of a running back as Bo was. King Henry, that's the biggest comp. But I'm saying all that to say, you got people who you know can put it down and you know who were the best ever, the best physical specimens ever. Bringing that back to the basketball conversation, Caitlin Clark just finds a way to do it. I don't think she's the best shooter. She's a good shooter when she gets on, but she's not the best shooter. She damn sure ain't the best defender. But for some reason, her special sauce just always works when she's on the court. And to take Iowa to back-to-back titles, even though they lost, it's a shame they came up against Kim Mulkey and LSU. Then they came up against the undefeated South Carolina team. Your timing sucked. And she had the secret sauce, that recipe of the things that she does and the rivalry at LSU and the stuff that happened with Ant, that was the right recipe. And it just grew. And for everybody, no, it wasn't just Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese has a lot to do with it as well. However, do not get it twisted. Caitlin Clark today is arguably the biggest female sports star in the world. Absolutely. I would think that her 3-point shot will be better next year than it is this year for the simple fact that she's going to be a little bit more comfortable playing in the league and she knows what to expect. She got some things that she got to do to work on it. She got to get better at shooting when she going to the left. Because you can watch her on film and figure out ways to stop her. It happened all season. And then this is the biggest thing, at least in my opinion, with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is going to come out the gate fast next year because she doesn't have to play in the NCAA this year. She had roughly 6 weeks off from playing back-to-back, the longest college season a player could have, because she went from the preseason all the way to the national championship game 2 years in a row. Then she got about a month off, and they had to go right into the WNBA season. And they played what, 11 games in 20 something days or something goofy like that. They had some ridiculous schedule. And then when they finally had the Olympic break, she had some time off, got some rest, got to recoup, and she came back and did some things. So I think Kelsey Mitchell is going to stay, C-Man. She's been dropping hints that she's going to stay in Indiana. I hope to see that because I really like the moves that Indiana is making, bringing in a new COO, bringing in a new president. They are making moves very quickly and very loudly. I do not think Christy Sides might make it. I don't think she's going to make it to next year. I think there is better options for her, and everybody wants the opportunity to coach Caitlin Clark. Everybody wants that opportunity. Would Phil Jackson have come to the Bulls if Jordan wasn't there? I don't know. There may have been other opportunities somewhere else. But everybody wants to play with him. Everybody wants to play. You got Kelsey Mitchell. You realize you got two of the top 3 scorers in NCAA history. 2 of them. Caitlin Clark, number 1. Kelsey Plum is number 2. Kelsey Mitchell is number 3. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell play on the same team. So I don't think something's telling me they making a lot of noise, and I don't think Sides is going to make it. Because watching this game, watching New York and Las Vegas go at it, the one thing, and this is the example I always look at, you look at Sandy Brondello, how she coached that team and got New York together. Even if you watch the game and you saw that last timeout and her giving instruction and stuff like that, and you could tell they bought into that. How many times did we see Christy Sides saying something on the bench, and it was either Caitlin Clark or Kelsey Mitchell, somebody just like rolling their eyes or just kind of giving a blank look like, huh? Because I just think Christy Sides is just not there as a coach yet. I just don't think she's there yet. And now all of a sudden, she's like Doug Collins with the Bulls. You got the best player in the world, and you couldn't do anything with him. Wasn't sniffing the playoffs until he got there. And as soon as they got rid of you, now they start winning championships. And I think that is the same perspective that they're taking in Indiana. So we'll see. It won't surprise me if they keep Christy Sides, but I'm thinking that she's going to go. They're going to go in a different direction because there's better options out there. There's definitely better options out there. In my opinion, this year, the Indiana Fever should have had 4 to 5 more wins, and they didn't because of decisions made or the lineup decisions that she made in some games. They should have had 4 or 5 more wins this year. So, Cheryl Miller, no, I never wanted Cheryl Miller. Go back and look at Cheryl Miller's history as a coach. It's not very good. She wasn't a great coach. And I even heard the rumors when they fired Teresa Weatherspoon, just because Cheryl Swoops was on Angel's podcast. Everybody was talking to Cheryl Swoops is going to take over for Chicago. I was like, no, the hell she ain't. Cheryl Swoops' record as a head coach is garbage too. They kicked her out of a school because she was such a bad head coach. The players walked off the team because they didn't like Cheryl Swoops. She just ain't gonna walk into another job like that with no type of history or background or nothing like that. With her record as a head coach, somebody would be crazy to hire her. I would at least give Cheryl Miller a little bit more edge when it comes to that, but I wouldn't want Cheryl Miller either. I don't want somebody that's been inactive as a coach for umpteen years. They need somebody that can come in, make a change, and get things done now. That's what they need in Indiana. If they're not going to get that, keep what you got. Because you can't tell me whether you like Sides or not. You can't tell me Sides wasn't better at the end than she was at the beginning. She learned some things too, and whether people want to admit it or not, some of them wins was because Christy Sides did what she had to do. Some of those losses weren't on her. Some of those losses weren't because they kept turning the ball over or not hitting their shots or not making their free throws. So there's some, it goes both ways. Goes both ways. I think the Aces need to prove this offseason. I don't know. I think they need to have a little bit better bench, but everybody, it's with Las Vegas, it's all cliche stuff. It's all cliche stuff. Because if they rattled off a couple more shots or played a little bit better during the season and had a different draw, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So it's not, you can say that about the same thing somebody will come up with about Las Vegas. You can say that about any team. I heard somebody say that they bench didn't score points. You can say that about anybody. You can say that about Indiana, Connecticut, name a team, Minnesota, Las Vegas, LA, name a team, and you can say the same thing. So Brittany Griner to the Aces. Brittany Griner is getting very, very slow. She's still a fourth because she's 6'9" and she likes to try to bully people. But Brittany Griner is getting slow. So if you come up against a team that likes to run the ball, they will run Brittany Griner off the floor. Now, if you want to slow it up and let her get set up on the post, can't nobody stop her. Because at least Brittany Griner is smart enough to come up with a baby hook shot that can't nobody stop because there's nobody else that's 6'9". Maybe Cardosa at 6'7". But Cardosa, it's hard to gauge Cardosa. Can she jump? I think Brianna Stewart might have a better shot with Brittany Griner because she got that 7'2" wingspan. So you got to look at the matchups. But, if BG goes to the Aces, that's going to slow them down. Asia Wilson can move. Asia Wilson can run the court. Kelsey Plum is quick, can run the court. Jackie Young can run the court. Chelsea Gray, we'll see next year when she come back. She'll be 100% healthy. But Chelsea Gray shouldn't have been in the Olympics. That was the spot that I thought Caitlin Clark should have had in the Olympics because Chelsea Gray did not look good this whole year. I don't think she was healthy. She played better at the end of the year and she got back to passing the ball and stuff like that. But in my opinion, she did not look 100%. Because I've seen some of her highlights in the past. Chelsea Gray was the truth. And she looked nothing like that. So I don't know if that Achilles was 100%. I don't know if it's mental. If you've ever had some type of knee or popped an Achilles, even when it heals, there is a mental thing that goes on. Your body has got to let you know that, all right, take all of the restraints off and I need you to go full tilt. So Chelsea Gray did not look good all season. Cam Brink, I like Cameron Brink. She would have been in the runner for Rookie of the Year if she had not gotten hurt. Because I just think saying things would have shaken off a little bit different. She'd have been in the running. I think they didn't give her enough shine, but Rickea Jackson could have been in there. But what Caitlin Clark was doing, even with Angel Reese with all her rebounds, this is why I don't think the battle was close. The battle was close in the first half of the year, in my opinion, because they had about the same amount of wins. But then all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark gets some rest and she just takes off with the assists. The shooting percentage got better, but the assist is what does it for me. Because the assists, number one, yes, she turned the ball over a lot, but those assists make up for the turnovers. Because if you averaging, what's she average? 8 turnovers or 8 assists a game or something like that. Whatever her assist total was, you gotta double that. At least double it. Because at least if you get an assist, somebody's hitting 2 points. And some of those assists were threes. So it was probably more, but Just to make it simple, if you average 8 assists a game, that means you're responsible for an extra 16 points for your team. Angel Reese ain't doing that with rebounds. Number one, if she's pulling down defensive rebounds, that's great. She's getting a double-double, and you had, 16 rebounds, and 13 of those were defensive rebounds. But that doesn't mean when you get a rebound that you convert at the other end of the court. So there's no guarantee that when she gets a rebound, Chicago was scoring. There was no guarantee of that. Every time Caitlin Clark gets an assist, somebody scores. Every time Caitlin Clark turned the ball over, doesn't mean the other team converted. So to me, that's why the Rookie of the Year race was not close, especially after the Olympic break. Because Angel Reese was getting all them double-doubles, and they were legit. I don't give a damn what everybody was saying about her getting her own rebounds. I don't care about that. Block her out if you don't want to box her out. Because people that were putting that narrative out there made it seem like everybody under the basket was just looking with their hands behind their back and just letting Angel Reese get them rebounds. Angel Reese was out hustling everybody under the rim. I put a video out early this year, and I was like, Angel Reese needs to be the Dennis Rodman of the WNBA. That's exactly what she did. She wasn't the tallest. She wasn't the fastest, but what she did, in my opinion, Angel Reese positions herself better than anybody else in the league. Anybody. That's why she was so good at rebounding. Because everybody else sucks at getting position. And she out-hustled everybody. So if she get 3 putbacks, guess what? You out-hustling people. And you going to try to ding her for that? I ain't doing that. She got in there and balled out under the blocks. And that's what she did. The problem was you getting 15 points and 15 rebounds, and Chicago was still getting drugged. The mistake that Teresa Weatherspoon made, number one, was she did a masterful job in handling Kennedy Carter. The problem was Kennedy Carter should have been starting much, much sooner. But you know what the history was? Kennedy Carter had baggage. So you had to approach that with some heat gloves on. But in my opinion, Teresa Weatherspoon got the most out of Kennedy Carter. And it's a shame because Teresa Weatherspoon should not have been fired. She should be coming back the next year. Kennedy Carter should be the starter right off the bat. Now they'll get some more pieces. They would have to get another shooter to get rid of Mabry, get rid of Dana Evans and everybody else that don't want to be there, and put some stuff together and not try to run the offense through Angel Reese. She's not an offensive player. She got an ugly jump shot. Her jump shot is worse than damn Alyssa Thomas's. That's something that she got to work on. And then she's one of those players that she can only shoot it when she's open. If you put somebody in her face, she ain't getting a jump shot off because she's not that fluid with it. Neither is Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas knows her role. She bangs the board. She gets all her shots off the glass. She gets rebounds, and she dishes assists. She knows her assignment. And the one mistake that I think Teresa Weatherspoon was doing with Angel Reese was trying to force feed her in the offense, and it wasn't working. Her points were coming off of missed shots and putbacks. Let it work like that. Let it work like that. And the whole situation with Cardosa getting hurt early, that just kind of skewed up the whole thing because Cardosa should have been more involved with the offense. But by the time she got healthy, Angel Reese was taking over. That, in my opinion, that was the one I think misstep that Teresa Weatherspoon had. You gotta get somebody else involved in that offense. And she found Kennedy Carter came alive too late. They should have made the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, she doesn't get fired. If Kennedy Carter doesn't catch COVID or whatever the situation is, because some people don't believe it was COVID. They believe it was a conspiracy following the press conference when all of that shit was going on in the locker room, disrupting everybody and throwing chairs, whatever the hell was going on. It wasn't a good look because it wasn't right after that situation. It wasn't right. Marina Mabry made it made it plain, and they got her the hell up out of there. And now she in a spot where she got everything is clear between her ears, and she hitting shots. So it was clear that something was going on. It was very clear that something was going on. Second quarter, 41-36. Minnesota. Connecticut trying to keep it tight, but we'll see. See if they can bring one back. Tina Charles would be a pretty decent fit. That would be a good idea. Yeah, man. Rebound is a rebound, bro. Rebound is a rebound. Oh, hold on. I'm getting the call. Got to take this. Got to take the call from wifey. You understand? The Stokes and KB need to go ASAP. Okay. We'll see what they do. Oh, yes. I thought Angel Reese was going to at least get a year with Candace Parker. And in my opinion, that would have made Angel Reese a hell of a lot better. And it would have, and I think it would have taught her, it would have made her a better player, and it would have taught her about being a pro. Because, and this is my personal opinion, some of the things and how she go about what she does off the court, it ain't a good look. You can do it, but it ain't a good look. With the podcast and some of the comments and stuff like that, she trying to bring that. I don't know, man. It was like, it wasn't victim mentality, but you can't bitch and moan about what. Damn, I can't even say it right. You can't bitch and moan about the treatment you're receiving, and then say you'll play the victim or play the villain, because that's how villains get treated. So you can't claim it and then say you don't like it after you claimed it. That was my whole issue with some of the stuff she said. And then she made the comment about everybody just wanted Caitlyn. Well, duh, they wanted Caitlyn. They saw what they saw. And the stat padding thing it happened. Let's keep it a buck. It happened. The problem was people made such a big deal out of it, and it's not the first time it happened. They act like Angel Reese was the only person ever that benefited from stat pad. And I'm not talking about get the ball so they can make one extra shot or something like that. It was a couple times they left her in the game so she could get rebounds or points to get there. And it was like, that's not a good look. Yes, you can do it, but it's just not a good look. The WNBA did not understand optics at all. They didn't understand optics. A lot of the players in the WNBA do not understand optics. Yes, you can do it, but there is a cost with everything you do when you become a mainstream entity. The WNBA is a mainstream entity. They are attracting 700,000 plus, 1 million plus viewers that are watching you on TV. The games are packed. They are mainstream now. I said this in the video I just did. If you put LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Caitlin Clark at a table for autographs, Caitlin Clark's line for autographs is going to be just as long. That's how popular she is. She is bringing in the viewership, the revenue, the advertisement, everything the WNBA has said that they have wanted for 28 years. The equity, they want to be just as good and get just as much as the guys. This is where it starts. What they are forgetting is that when it happened in the NBA, David Stern changed everything when Jordan came in. He saw what was in there. And when he changed the rules, there was a lot of people that weren't happy about it. There was a ton of people currently in the NBA that were not happy at the time. Why are you changing it for him? Who was he? He was the guy that was putting butts in seats, bringing people to the game. And the Detroit Pistons was kicking his ass every time he tried to go in for a dunk. And David Stern was smart enough to figure out, I can't have the most popular player always hurt, always injured. So we came up with the Jordan rules, the unofficial, unwritten rules that they had when they played Jordan. Happens all the time. Everybody got unwritten rules. There's unwritten rules in football. There's unwritten rules in baseball. There's unwritten rules in basketball. And I said this from the beginning. If the WNBA is going to become mainstream, they got to learn how to play the game. And the game ain't fair. And that is the one thing that the WNBA is having a very difficult time of dealing with right now. The game ain't fair. Asia Wilson should have a shoe, but Caitlin Clark is more popular. Put her shoe out first, because that's what you did with everybody else. So now you got to make a choice. Are you trying to stay woke? Are you trying to make money? Which one you trying to do? Because your past history says another thing. So it's crystal clear what you're trying to do. The WNBA dropped the ball from the draft on. The draft was weak. The coverage of it was not good. They had no social media presence. Your two top stars. Caitlin Clark had at the time, I believe this is correct. Caitlin Clark had 1.2 million followers, I think, on Instagram and TikTok, or one of them. Angel Reese had 2.2 million. Camila Cardoso had 700,000. So you got almost 3 million subscribers tuned in on social media, and y'all didn't have a social media plan for all your new stars. They dropped the ball on that. I believe that. However, here's the other thing you got to take into consideration. The WNBA is a league that has been losing money for 28 years. Maybe they don't have the budget to have the big bang media teams like all the other pro sports that do have money like that. Maybe they don't have it. So you got to look at both ways. You can't just assume they're going to do everything like the NBA because they don't have the resources to do it like that. So it's unfair to throw that on them, to throw that on the WNBA like that. But there were definitely things they could have done better. Definitely things they could have done better. People are saying Kelsey Plum is leaving in the offseason. Okay. Where's she going? Where's she going? Is Becky Hammond leaving too? Because I heard she might go too. Plus, let's not forget, Las Vegas is still under investigation. So when Becky Hammond was talking about distractions, she was a distraction too. She had that De'Erica Hamby lawsuit in her face. She was front and center on top of that. On top of whatever else, getting extra bonus benefits and all of that kind of stuff being in Las Vegas. So Becky Hammond was guilty of distractions too. It wasn't just on the players. I thought that whole statement was she should have just left that alone. Because the one thing now is everybody got receipts. Becky Hammond's name was front and center on that De'Erica Hamby lawsuit. Not Asia Wilson, not Kelsey Plum. So the distractions was universal. I just thought that wasn't a good look when she said that. Alicia Clark, perhaps, but you got to remember also, Matt, the veterans that are really on the edge. Taurasi got out, and now you're looking at Chelsea Gray and some of them people that are 33, 34 years old. I look at Erica Wheeler. They trying to hang on because they know this media rights money is coming. Now, the new collective bargaining agreement is not supposed to be redone until 2027, but I would highly doubt that the WNBA Players Association is going to try to wait that long when they know they got $2.2 billion coming down in the bank. The check ain't even cleared yet. And they would be stupid to want to wait until 2027 to try to redo the deal. They want to get the stuff done now because everything is on the rise. Caitlin Clark is everywhere. Caitlin Clark is now an international sports figure. So that's going to bring in international money. Do not be surprised if the WNBA starts going overseas to play exhibition games, because Caitlin Clark is going to bring that much money in, on top of whatever they make it from the media rights deal, advertising, new endorsement deals. Caitlin Clark is basically just injecting money into the league on top of what they already get. So I'm guessing if they redo this deal, 2026 or 2027 is probably going to be the first official year that the WNBA is profitable, depending on when the check cashes for the media rights deal. The minute that check clears, that is going to be the year they're going to be profitable. So if they get that money in 25, 26, or 27, that's going to be the first year of profitability for the WNBA. All right, RC, Phillies fans, and they're getting their ass kicked by the Mets. Thanks. Can I blame that on you? It's your fault. Speaking of which, let me look. Let me see what the score is. They were losing 2-0. It's 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th. So it's 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th. But I appreciate that, bro. So I like the situation this is in. The WNBA is getting everything it ever wanted. It's getting all of the hype, the publicity, but it's also getting everything that comes with it. You getting the hate speech, and I just did a video. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Go to my channel, go to Pro Fan Talk, and make sure y'all subscribe. This, I did a video about this. I did a video about that. And I was talking about Alyssa Thomas, her comments about the trolls and the racism and stuff they were receiving online. And my thought was, she is not wrong. There's no place for it. It doesn't belong. And I wish we could get rid of it. However, my perspective was, what makes you think you are in a position where you are exempt? LeBron had to go through it. Death threats to him, death threats to his family and kids and all of that kind of nonsense, nasty stuff tweeted out to his wife. Kobe had to go through it. Same reason. Their teammates have to go through it. If you're a Kobe Bryant fan or you're a LeBron fan and somebody on your team misses a shot and they lost, that teammate for missing a shot was getting death threats and stuff like that. Venus and Serena, do we even need to go into that? All the racist shit that happened to them, the treatment of them at tournaments and stuff like that. Coco Golf, all of them. So when you get this type of high profile, what makes them exempt? I'm not saying it's right. My question is, why does she think they should be exempt? And what do they actually think they could do? In my opinion, that was the misstep in this whole thing. Everybody keeps saying it doesn't belong. They should do something about it. What the hell are you going to do with people on social media? You can't do anything about it. If there was something that could be done, the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, people that's been around for a much longer time with much more resources than the WNBA would have done something about it. But you can't do nothing with the people online that can type and say whatever they want to say with impunity. You can't do nothing about that. So I thought it was misguided for everybody to jump on board and say, yeah, there's no place for this. You should be doing better. And it's like, what you going to try to give them a stern talking to because you ain't like what they said about you on Twitter? It don't work that way. And you already know when you feed a troll, it just gets bigger. So that was my rant on that. I think they made a mistake the best thing you can do is ignore it. I said this before. It's like the movie War Games back in the 80s or whenever it was. The only winning move is not to play. So sometimes people got to get the hell off social media and keep it pushing. End of sixth. So Phillies did not score. But yeah, man. Yeah, she does look angry. She always looks angry. She's the bully on the court. She was the one that slammed Angel Reese on her head, and nothing happened. The biggest issue they got right now is these damn referees. They suck. They're garbage. They got to do something about it, or it's gonna be the noise is gonna be a lot worse next year. So, but that's all I wanted to talk about, man. I wanted to talk about this game. Got into some other stuff, man. Appreciate everybody coming in, jumping in. This was not scheduled. This was very impromptu. So I appreciate the love, man. Everybody jumping in. So there'll be some more stuff coming during the week. Got some more film study with football with the NFL stuff. So stay tuned. Please subscribe. Don't be strangers. Hit me up on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can find me. Look up Coach Marcus. On Instagram, I think I'm Coach Marcus06. Twitter, I'm Coach_Marcus06. And on Facebook, just look up Pro Fan Talk. You can find me. So I'm going to get up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will holler at you later. Peace.